I tried them. They're gross.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, pizza thing's disgusting.
Really? What about the chocolate?
I had the one round thing that looked like a chocolate-covered cherry. Paul ate the other one. I thought you were supposed to be doing something tonight, Sue.
Well,
Well, you should. You should. Make sure you make as much crunchy noise as possible.
I'm gonna try.
Hey, Bill! How are you doing? How you like the shirts? What do you think? Alright, guys. Let's get the show started. What do you say? You logging in?
Thank you for watching. Yeah, I'm going to.
What's up, Dave? Chime in. Let us know where you're from while we give good day, Mark. While we get this thing going. Eastern Australia. Funny thing, you should mention that. Have you ever seen these before in Australia? This is part of the Yum Box where we Fernando's daughter gets every month, and this month was Australia. So
yeah, and they pretty cool, man.
he apparently got to taste a little bit of these nuts from Australia. New Orleans checking in. All right, Mark.
Yeah.
Week in review. How was last week? How would you describe last week?
That was exciting.
Last week sucked.
No.
Yeah. Was there anything last week that stood out that was not sucky? Hello from Arizona. Happy Monday. Yes, this Monday was actually much better than last Monday.
Never see them.
Never see them, by the way. Never see what?
I don't know.
I don't know. So did you guys check out any of the videos last week? We hope you did. This morning's was real popular. It was about mounting your fuse holder. So if you haven't checked that one out, go ahead and check that one out if you don't mind. One of the questions that I just read before we started was about the circuit breaker versus fuse.
Yes.
Okay, and that's a great question. And I have an opinion on that, as you can imagine.
Okay. Wow, really?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Tito, what's up?
Hi, guys.
So, all right, my opinion on this is more of a story. Back in the early days of my car stereo careers, Australian dude. Oh, okay. Sorry, Anthony. My bad. Now, just the only thing that comes to my mind is living in a land down under. Many years ago, when I first started my glorious career as a car stereo installer, we did a box Chevy where the kid, hello from New York, Joe.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I think it's wrong.
No, 5-star T. What?
What's to say that's wrong?
T Spring. S-P-R-I-N-G.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot the N.
Where? Oh, yes.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Suzanne. There you go, see?
I know that.
That's awesome. Hello from New York City.
All right, there we go.
Crespo?
There, we added the N. C Spring. All right. So,
really?
dude, like I said, we're going to make some cheap-ass poor white trash hanging on the wall. I got a garage sale going on this weekend. All right, so, early days, technical difficulties. Yeah. Okay, so, we did a box Chevy.
Yes.
The kid smoked. His parents didn't know he smoked. One night, he's driving home, and he flicks his cigarette, what he thought was out the window. Okay, say hi to Adam. Say hi to
Wayne.
Flicks his cigarette, what he thinks is out the window. It doesn't go out the window. It actually lands in the back seat of his box Chevy. Catches the back seat on fire. Now, at the time, we were using circuit breakers and the power wire for no relationship to help us.
That's awesome.
So we were using circuit breakers, and the power wire that we ran right behind where the seat caught on fire.
Yeah.
So the fire department investigator that knows absolutely nothing about car stereo, power wire, or anything like that, he can tell you how a building catches on fire. He decided to say that, nope, there's no fuse under the hood, so you guys started the fire. And I'm like, well, how's that? And then I had to argue with him, me as a teenager, and going, well, yeah, but the wire before and after the burn are in perfect. There's nothing.
Nothing burned.
There's nothing burned. It didn't burn from the seat forward. It didn't burn from the seat back. It was just right where the fire started, where the cigarette was. And of course, his parents didn't know he smoked, so they were all like, "No, he doesn't smoke." And I'm like, "Dude, he smoked while he's in the shop."
Not my
so
kid.
we ended up having to take an insurance claim out of it, and from that, we decided that we would never ever use a circuit breaker again, because if it was a fuse. And the fuse wasn't blown, we would have been able to say, hey, look, no, there's a fuse here. It wasn't a short, or it would have blown the fuse, because there's no way to cause that much damage if there's a fuse in the car. It would have stopped. Okay? So, the question being, do we use a fuse holder or a circuit breaker? That's entirely up to you. I personally will never use a circuit breaker for the rest of my life, mainly just because of that one incident. Jaded me forever.
How long ago?
It was probably 92, 93.
Wow.
But because of that, we'll never use a circuit breaker. That's not to say circuit breakers aren't better. That's not to say circuit breakers don't work. I just will never use one because, I mean, really? The other bad thing, okay, but the nice thing about a circuit breaker is that, like, if you're working on your car, like you're working on the amps, like when we have to service an amp, you hit the little button, the little thing opens up. You don't have to take the battery off. The bad thing about a circuit breaker is like with a fuse, if you're doing something, fuses are best.
Fuses
yeah,
are
totally,
best.
Bill.
Yeah.
If a fuse blows, there's something wrong. If a circuit breaker blows, you can go back out and flick it. And then if it blows again, flick it. Keep flicking it. What? Really?
Well, actually, the guy of the Camaro, he blew the amplifier. He took the box out, left the wires just right there, and every time he put the fuse fuse blew. Every time, yeah.
And so he had to come in for service.
Yeah.
What's up, Tim?
Guys? Tim?
Are there any sound processors that can be adjusted via Bluetooth? Good question. Actually, right now, no. But the audio control piece will be. Bill, when is that piece coming out so that we can adjust the audio control processor via Bluetooth? Also, Phoenix Gold processor, the one that seems to be taking forever, it's almost turning into that white elephant, will also be able to set over Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the audio control processor, even though it's not set over Bluetooth, is one of, yes, the Kicker IQ.
The Kicker IQ.
Yeah, but the only problem with the Kicker IQ is that Bluetooth interface is almost as expensive as the goddamn amplifier. Pardon my French. Oh, pardon my cursing. It's not really French. I shouldn't say that. We're American. Yes, the Kicker IQ will also. And all of them you have to buy this dongle, which I think sucks. It's like, dude, just build it into the damn processor.
Yeah.
With the Phoenix Gold Elite 1 on each Phoenix Gold Elite 12D.
Go hard?
Oh, yeah, those Elite 1s are massive. Dude, those things are like this big.
Yeah.
They're freaking huge. Damn it, will be soon. Okay, so Bill Freeman is the guy that would know.
Murphy.
Dan Basehead Murphy.
Yeah, what's up, Murphy?
So the Bluetooth dongle for the DM810 will be out shortly, he's saying. So good for them. So yeah, just be patient. You can get the DM810 right now and play with it on your Windows. It's awesome to set up with that input-output RTA built into it. I know we're gonna do a video. We just dude, right now it's like we're so damn busy.
Yeah.
And it's like we're trying to shoot videos and we're trying to get all the customer work done, and it's this constant battle right now.
Yeah.
Normally it's not. I mean, thank God it's busy. I'm not complaining by any stretch of the imagination. I definitely like going to the bank and cashing my checks at least once every 6 to 8 weeks because I'm slow and just don't ever do it. But hi from
Portland, Oregon.
Is it foggy?
Close.
Is it foggy there? Is it foggy in
foggy?
Portland, Oregon?
Illinois.
Yes, definitely. Busy is good. It's show season.
This is show season. Yeah.
And the phone rings. Yeah, you know, I walked the catwalk this weekend. Did you have a fashion show this weekend?
I have a fashion show.
Yeah, you had your big. What did Bill say? Bill just said something. Check the phone.
Bill say
yeah.
we can use my card to do it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Good call, Bill. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I'd rather use my card and put one in, but no, let's.
You can send us.
Well, we got to talk Bill anyways because we need to figure out when we're going to do the Rockford Bill's also our Rockford rep, and they have that cool Rockford demo vehicle. We're going to get it in here and do a tour of the vehicle. So all you guys that don't get to see what Rockford has in store for their little events, we'll check it out. So yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, we could do that. I didn't even think of that. Get the Bluetooth module and we'll do it. That way we don't have to do 4 videos on the piece. You know, not that because we're not car audio fabricator that just gets shit sent to us for free. Right. We actually have to pay for the stuff. Is that bitter? No, not at all. How you guys like the shirts? I mean, we got them in. We're wearing them. I paid, the $60 to have them rushed here so that we could show them to you guys.
Yep.
Teespring with an N.com. / 5-star T, or just search 5-car stereo on Teespring. You can pick one up, and if you guys like the show and you like to support us, and you're just happy that we do things like this, just buy a T-shirt. What did Bill say? You manage. I know. Well, hey, I wanted to. Big shirt, little shirt. Yeah. And they feel good. You can get them in different colors too. This was the color I designed it on, gray, so that's why I had them. A gray shirt. I don't know why I designed that gray. I'm kind of partial to it, but okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so
Mini Sound Lab. Yes, the Rockford Mini Sound Lab. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Wayne Rice, he talked about the God on Fire stuff.
Yes.
He used to have a old Soundstream reference catch on fire in a customer car. The insurance fire investigators say it was our fault.
Yes.
And even the customers say it was like lifting out from the outside of the amp. But yeah, that's the problem.
My shirt got lost in the mail. Really?
What?
Oh, that's messed up. We'll call him back, bitch. Get you
David, really?
Wow. So.
Okay.
Yes.
So Ashley.
Wait. Before we go on that.
Okay.
Who's that that's saying about the fire? The fire is.
Wayne Rice.
Wayne Rice. So. Two things will always happen in the car audio world for the aftermarket car audio guys. One, if you ever have to take the car to the dealer for any particular reason, it's always going to be our fault, which I've come to accept after 27 years of doing this, that no matter what we do to a car, no matter how good we do it, no matter what, if a car ends up at a dealership, it's always the aftermarket car audio's fault. And two, if a car ever catches on fire, no matter what, if there's any piece of aftermarket equipment in it, it will also always be our fault, whether it's our fault or not. That is why we try to, and trust me, I've had to fight over the years many a times because, especially like Ford Explorers. I don't know if any of you guys remember the Ford Explorers when they were just randomly catching on fire because the cruise control didn't have a fuse or a circuit breaker in it, so the back would blow out and the hot brake fluid would spill all over the engine and cause the engine to catch on fire. I actually had one of those happen, and they tried to blame it on us. So I had to go out there with 2 insurance companies, a fire marshal, and me extremely pissed off, and go to the guys right there. That is our fuse holder right fucking there. And look at it, okay? At the firewall into the engine bay, was just, everything was killed. Firewall into the car, nothing. I'm like, dude, where did it short out? We have a grommet. You can see the grommet right there. So we fought it. Our insurance company was one of the insurance companies there, and they're like, hey, this is 100% correct. This is what I do for a living. This is what he does for a living. You're a fire marshal. You don't know shit, and you guys just don't want to pay. We didn't have to pay. Plus, also saved us, too, was he never bothered to get the Ford fixed. So
there you go, the recall.
The recall. So that guy.
Wow.
Oh, I'm bitter. I'll admit it.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, those are the 2 things that just, what are you going to do? It's just part of doing business. It sucks ass. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so Ashley, Dean, I have a Pioneer X491 VHS.
My car got a flat tire. I took it to the dealer and they said it was your fault. Yeah, right? Yeah, I screwed it. With these nuts. Or shall I say, Dean's nuts? Okay.
Whatever. Okay, so.
Sorry, Jeff.
All right.
We're trying.
Ashley say, Dean, I have a Pioneer X491 VHS.
So the new one.
I can use the Spotify source, wire, or Bluetooth with an iPhone. I can use via iPad or Bluetooth audio, but I only can get next track. Now search playlist. The icon is and the EQ is grayed out. Try the X391, different cables, and in a different form. So they call Pioneer, and they say that was I have to hear. They say it was a Spotify app. When they hear for no, they fix it so it's any.
Yeah, Spotify. Yeah. Right now there is an issue with Spotify. You're not the only one to experience that problem with Spotify. I've had a bunch of complaints online that people, now that they've just done the Apple update, Spotify just went poo-poo. So, I mean, last year we had this issue with Pandora. Pandora just would not work. Everyone's bitching at Pioneer. It's their fault. And it's like, okay, if this is fixed, meaning this doesn't change, and then the app changes, and somehow this is broke, it's not their fault. Yeah. It's the app's fault. And so, Pioneer, I know that when you call these guys at Pioneer, you're calling these idiots that don't know anything about Pioneer. They have a big book on their desk, and they're but the reality of it is if you're complaining about it, you're not the only one. More than likely, Pioneer is already talking to Spotify to figure out what the hell is going on. It's a big key feature with them. You just be patient. I mean, that's all we can say. It took them almost 2 months to fix the Pandora problem last year. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's probably hosed now again, too. But I haven't had anyone complain about Pandora. I don't know if everyone just gave up on Pandora and switched to Spotify.
They fix it.
But it has been fixed. I mean, they fixed it in, like, November. So, but it was an update that Pandora had to do. And then once it was fixed, it was fixed. So just be patient. Chances are good. It's going to work itself out. Anytime we're dealing now with these software-driven things, it's just part of the new world order. Yay!
Okay, so Adam, have you installed any Prima app? AP 8.9-bit.
No, no. We thought about bringing them in. We carry the Prima speakers. We didn't bring in the Prima amps. Not sold on them yet. I know a lot of guys are. It's really not anything. We're not. I mean, I flew out to California. They introduced them to us. They told us all about them. They let us play with them. It was really cool. And at the end of the day, I just couldn't see it fitting into the way we do business. Yeah. That's not to say that down the road it won't, but right now it's just not an amp for us.
Right.
And that's really it. I mean, I got nothing against them. I think they're great. That was my first dream system, was to do a Prima system, and the more we looked at it, the more it was like, no. Do something else.
So Anthony, what's the difference between the A10 and the B10 or B1?
For the most part, when you look at the analog side of things, or the basic side of things, not analog, basic side of things, is they have 8 inputs, 10 outputs. They're both going to do that. Where the difference lies is that, like with an Audison product, if you have the bit tune, you can do the auto tune. Otherwise, you have to sit in front of a laptop and do the same thing as you do with the audio control. The only difference with the audio control is the audio control had all the benefits of the years that the Audison processor was out, because it's been out for a really long time, and all the shortcomings that it's had, and build up from there. So they could build what they will call a better box. And it's easier to use. So the audio control, talking with Chris Bennett, the director of sales over there, the reality was they wanted to build a product that anyone could use. You don't need a degree in sound to figure out, and you don't need $1 million worth of tools to install. So I like it. Go ahead. Michael say, love the new iPhone CarPlay update, which shows the small icons on the left now. Yeah, you didn't see that? Yeah, we were playing with that today. Really? Yeah, you missed that? You missed that meeting? I'm sorry, man. I should get that memo. Yeah, anyway, that is cool.
Tony, you say Tony?
Hi, Tony. Is that Tony from UK?
Yeah.
Yes, Tony. Now go to bed.
Go to bed. It's late. Yeah. All right. So, Steven, great videos. Keep it up.
Will do.
Ross say, what's up, guys?
Okay.
I see all the shapes in your shop.
All the what?
Still, all the shapes.
All the shapes.
In your shop.
Oh, hang on the wall.
Use them.
Yeah, we still use a lot of the shapes. There's 2 walls in our shop in the install bay that has shapes. There's ones that has the router wall, and those are all the shapes that are factory speaker templates that we make when we do anytime we install a set of speakers and we haven't done it before, we make a template so that we'll have it for the next time. Because every car we do installs, we factory match the template.
Right.
If we don't already have it in a bag from Best Kits or Metro or whoever. So those shapes we use daily. The other shapes that are on the wall, like the big sub-circles and stuff like that, really the only time we use those is when we have to modify a box from, let's say, like a... guys, tell us again how to buy a t-shirt. All right, let me finish this.
Yeah, we're going.
The shapes are when we have to modify like a 10 to a 12 or a 12 to 15, or when we have to router, like a lot of the Scar Audio subs are a 1/4 inch bigger 12 than a normal 12. So we use those to do that. Yeah. Most of those other shapes that are hanging up there are from my previous life where I did a bunch of custom before I was allergic to this shit.
There you go, because that's the question. Like, are you ever do wall builds?
Yes, that was all I did for 20 years was just wild builds. Okay, builds now are not like builds back in the day. We had 3 days to build a car. So it was whatever you could build in 3 days, and that was it. So this take a month, take 2 months, take 2 weeks, none of that existed. The last build I did before I left the place I had the car for 2 weeks, and that was only because Rockford was doing a model change on the T1 woofer, and we needed 4 of them, and we couldn't get them in, so we were a backlog because of that. So even though we had the car for 2 weeks, I only really had a week to work on it, and that was a week between cars, and at the time I was the only installer. So, and then when we started here, we started doing custom stuff, but not much, and then Paul was like, it's taking way too much time to dick with this stuff, so...
I got more stuff to do.
We got more stuff to do, so... Okay, t-shirts. www.teespring with an N.
And right here.
.com/5*T. You can order it in several different colors. You get this cool 5-star t-shirt, and it supports us. If we meet the quota that we had to set, then they will send us some money, and we'll of course use that to buy stuff to make more videos. That's really what it is.
Okay. So Donald, if you run a directional RCA backwards, will it really fix anything? Will you able to hear a difference on the install?
No, not a bit. It's funny you should bring that up because remember last week we were doing those, and Stinger has it on the 400?
The 4000.
The 4000s on up all have, and it's like on this little tiny gray, which I think I've talked it upon on a video. If you look real close, you can see it. Yeah. Now they have big stickers on the end that says towards
the back,
towards
the amp.
It says towards amp. I think it says towards amp. Yeah. The whole idea behind that is for noise cancellation, for any type of engine noise. Do you hear a difference? No. No.
So you'll be fine.
Is it gimmicky? No, but yes. So, trust me, hundreds of RCAs have been installed backwards to no problems whatsoever. So, and I've had guys that have like, man, I just found out these are directional. I pulled them all out and turned them around, and it didn't sound any different. I was like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Why would it? Did you have noise? No. Well, then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If you have noise, then worry about it. If you don't, no, it's not going to hurt anything.
So, David say, what's up with the alien on your shop, man?
With the what?
The alien.
The alien?
Yeah.
We got that free 4 years ago?
No, 3 years.
You sure?
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago.
3 years or 4 years.
Okay, well, he says 3, I say 4. We'll split it. 3.5 years ago.
Okay. Daytona.
Daytona was handing out aliens, and that's a fusion alien. They selected fusion on them. And my daughter wanted one, so I had to go up and say, hey, buddy, can I? And I think I paid $10 for it. It really sucked. I might not. I might have got it for free. I don't remember. I know one year that we went, they were charging for them. This one might have been free. Either way, I was a Boy Scout. I learned to tie nooses. I have a lot of fun tying nooses. Don't ask me why.
And that's how you tie it.
And so we tied a noose and we hung it from the wall.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we forgot about it, and then it just kind of works its way around the shop and hangs on that wall right now. And that's it. I got a friend of ours, Erica. She loves it. She's got a friend of hers that actually takes an alien around and takes pictures of it all over the country, and so he got a big. You have to run the RCAs backwards in the southern hemisphere. That's correct. When you flush the toilet and you run your RCAs. Totally true, Bill. Yes. Source to unit, unit to source. Yes.
Nice.
Goes this way or this way. You take your pick.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, but that's the alien. It's just a joke.
Sam from Maryland, say hi.
Hi.
Tim, guys, tell us about the shirts. You already say that. All right. So
Tim the Tool Man.
Richard, hello.
Hi.
It's the Pioneer 3800 VHS, the lowest model that does dual Bluetooth.
No, the 2800.
And use navigation from your phone. I was looking for a double DIN for my father that he can use navigation from his Android phone. Thank you. What is that? No.
I mean, the 3800 will do the 2800, the 3800, the 4800, the 5800. They're all the same. They all have the basic same platform.
Yeah. And
that's the same as a 390, a 391, 490, 491. They're also the same radios as those. They are capable. If you have an iPhone, they're capable of doing Waze over the USB cable. Some Android phones work. Most of them we found don't. Some do. And it's real hard to figure out which ones they are because Pioneer can't put out a list because they can't test all these things. Right. And it's clunky at best and very hard to see. So I would not sell... We don't sell those radios saying, oh, and you could do Waze. We never pitch that. When we do the videos, we talk about them. So, I mean, you can go watch the video on a 2800 or... actually, the new one, which is a 3800, which is a 391.
That's what he had, yeah.
So you can go watch those videos. The biggest complaint we get is they're slow, they're clunky, and they're hard to see because you're using Waze. If you want to honestly be able to have him use it and have it function as an adult, you're going to want something with Android Auto. And for that, you're going to want something reasonable. I would check out either... You can probably pick up right now a 4200, pretty reasonable. You can find refurbished 4100s.
4100.
You could check out the Sony. What the hell's that thing called? It's right there on the wall. The XV100. It's right there on the left, next to the backup cam.
Yeah.
You can pick up the Sony.
The Sony
XAV.
AX100.
AX100.
Yeah.
That's going to allow you to do Android Auto. Yep. That's going to give you a real Google Maps navigation experience.
That would be the cheapest.
You can talk to it, and it's much easier to use. Anything other than that is useless. Yeah. I mean, unless you're just a geek and like to press buttons.
All right. So Rob, say hey guys.
Hey.
Alexander, say hello from Sweden.
Oh.
Sweden. It's 1 o'clock over there.
Holy shit.
I know,
Go to
right?
sleep, people. But thanks. Please don't. Stay and watch.
Chris, when you're installing aftermarket radio speakers front rear, do you typically stay with the stock speaker wire or do you upgrade the aftermarket?
Great question. And what did we just? Oh, we just talked about that in the amp wiring video.
Mm-hmm.
If we're putting in a big amplifier, we're in really expensive speakers, we will replace the wire. If we're putting in just normal everyday speakers and a normal everyday amplifier, the factory wiring is adequate size, which is usually a 16 gauge, is adequate size to handle all the power that they're going to get. Because you got to remember, you're also going to be crossing it over, so you're limiting the amount of power and frequency that goes through the wire. So no, there's really no reason to upgrade it unless, one, you're eccentric and that's what you feel you need to do, which there's nothing wrong. Trust me, there's been plenty of times I put 35 watts in my car and ran 12 gauge speaker wire to everything just because I had it. But for the most part, no, you don't need to upgrade. And some of these cars, the factory radios are putting out tons of power and it's not necessary. Now some of these cars now, some like the Toyotas, they're coming with like 18 or 22 gauge speaker wire. Ooh, that's sketchy. In that case, we're rewiring those. Like we did the Toyota Tundra video where we did the full install, and we rewired everything because it was just way too skinny. So
Wrong wires.
It just really comes down to what we're dealing with, how old the car is. We look at those things. It's on a case-per-case basis. And that's that. I mean, that's the easiest way to figure that one out.
All right, so Rob, Dean, I have one for you.
Okay.
Just one for you.
Just one.
Okay. iPhone 7.
Yes.
6200 NEX.
Yep.
Randomly will cut out. Like, lock up.
Yep.
So.
Two things. Make sure you've done the February update.
Yes.
Check the cable. A lot of the times people use inadequate iPhone cables and they have shorts in them.
Cable.
And there's a short in the cable, and when the phone gets bumped, it locks up the radio. I've had cases where I've tried to use my phone and I've shorted it out. Like it locks up. I have to restart the phone in order for me to plug in. So check the cable. Try a different cable, and also do the February update. That would be where I would start.
So Gilberto say, "What's up, guys? What's up?" Richard say, "Thank you."
Thank you.
Travis, hey guys, I have a crazy question. If you hook up 4-inch speaker out to the crossover, will it be louder or just don't do nothing?
What do you mean? Hook a 4-inch speaker up to a crossover?
4-inch speaker up to a crossover. Will it be louder or just don't do it?
Well, no. Okay, so I'm gonna guess on what you mean by this. So, for example, if you're building a car, so we'll take like a pickup truck where you have a 4 in the dash, 6x9, and whatever in the rear. If that 6x9 and that 4 are on the same channel, you're gonna want to put a bass blocker on that 4. Probably something like a 47 microfarad cap to limit the amount of frequency that gets to that 4, to keep it from playing the bass that the 6x9 can play. We have a video on high-pass crossovers capacitors and stuff like that from the install bay where we demonstrate this in action on the bench. So you can get more sound out of the speaker if you put the bass blocker / crossover on it, which would be a big improvement. Because a 4 has a really limited frequency response. Even though you look at the box, it says, it'll play 50 to 50,000 hertz at 1 watt. Not doing that. So you want to cross that thing over, limit its movement so that you can blare the crap out of it. Okay, next.
Yeah, so Rob say the screen say error 0260.
Yeah. What kind of radio?
That's
the 6200?
6200.
So you have an iPhone. Do this. Go to Pioneer's website, pioneerelectronics.com. Go to the 6200 or 6100, whichever one it was. You can download the owner's manual to iBook. Okay? And then once you're in iBook, you can do a search. You can actually search just that number, and it'll tell you what page it's on, and that'll answer that question. It's probably going to say something like USB error or something like that, in which case you'd want to change the cable like we discussed. But yeah, that's so when you guys ask questions about radios, what we do is we have iBook loaded.
Yeah. And
I just download every owner's manual for every radio to it, if I can figure out how to use this thing. So if you look at, we'll come up here real quick. See, if you look right here, here's every owner's manual, okay? And the cool thing about this is when you go on to even see, and you can search, right there. So if you're trying to find a topic, like you're trying to find USB, like what is the bit rate, or what is this, or what is that, or does this have that, or does this do that? That's it. You can search it right in the owner's manual on your phone instead of doing this, which nobody wants to do. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, Clayton say hello from Malta.
From where?
Malta.
Malta?
Yeah. I'm buying a Pioneer sub TSW 311D4. I'm trying to figure it out how to build my box. I'm going to put it and use the slab port.
Okay.
The sub needs 1.5 cubic feet.
Okay.
I don't want to take the whole boot, just the bare minimum.
Okay.
So I don't lose the space. I don't understand about the port size. Can you explain me?
Not in this video. That's a lot of conversation to have. Yeah, okay, I'll save you the headache. I know you want to build a box. That woofer, Pioneer designed it to be very forgiving. Pioneer realizes the market has changed, and most people are buying pre-made boxes now. So what they did is they bought a bunch of pre-made boxes, and they designed their woofer to work in pretty much all of them. So, like, you know, we carry A-Trend, we carry Q-Power, we carry... Scar makes their box somewhere, and we carry a ton of boxes. But what they did is they said, look, 90% of the people are buying these pre-made boxes because they're selling them in places that just, it's a $79 woofer, charging someone $150 to build a box, or I'm sorry, $79, $120, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But charging someone $150 to build a box isn't happening as much as it used to. So they made the woofer very forgiving. So you could probably get away with like 1.25 cubes, you know, 1-inch slot port, if it's 12 inches tall, is usually the sweet spot, and then you can adjust the length from there, and that's kind of that.
All right, so yes, Rob, he's
coming through the walls.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He's using the lightning cable, and okay, that's it.
So
Terry.
If you're using that Apple lightning cable, it sucks. Those don't work in cars all that well.
Yeah.
They're made like crap.
Try to find a better one.
You know, iSimple makes the rugged cables.
Yeah,
that's what we've been using in all our videos.
He say the only way to fix is unplug it and plug it back in.
It sounds like a bad cable. I would just get a better cable. Try getting a better cable. I mean, it's like $30. Get a really nice cable. Scosche makes nice cable. iSimple makes nice cables. Don't buy the Amazon cable. It sucks. I have those. They're garbage.
All right, Terry say, what's up, guys?
Hey.
You guys are legit.
Thank you.
Okay.
Too legit to quit. Too legit. Sorry,
Jason.
MC Hammer.
Okay, Jason. Base location of tweeters. Say panel.
Sail panel. Okay.
Yeah, sail panel. Furring into the windshield.
Okay.
I know there's usually it's a rule of thumb, keep the tweeters with a 12-inch by the mid-base driver.
I don't know if that's more of a rule as opposed to a preference. Really, when it comes down to the tweeter, whether it's in the sail pillar or the A pillar, really what it comes down to is being able to attenuate the tweeter. Being able to control the volume of the tweeter is key. Most aftermarket tweeters have some form of an attenuation or volume control, like 0, -2, -4, or 0, -3, -6. And what a lot of people do is they'll put those tweeters in and they automatically put them at 0. Don't!
Yeah.
Put the tweeter in and start at like -3, -2. Sometimes even whatever the lowest setting is. Start
-4.
there. Okay? It's a tweeter. It's going to be loud. Okay? Let it do its thing and see how it sounds at negative. We never put a tweeter in at 0. Ever. And they sound great.
It's -2,
-2, -4. We usually go for the middle setting. That's usually where it ends up. But, you know, a lot of these cars, you're torn. It's like you don't really have the option. It's either going to go next to the mirror, it's going to go up there. But it's the ability to control the volume of the tweeter, I think, makes more of a difference than where it's at. Obviously, don't put it up here. Don't. If you're going to blast it at your face, like I know all over Instagram, you see the cool A-pillars with the tweeters blowing right at your face.
Right there, yeah.
What makes that work is the 3-way active crossover that's hooked up to them. They're coming through the freaking walls, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
They back in right there.
Come in! Go away! So it's being able to control the volume of the tweeter that is key, not necessarily the position. The positioning is good, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. Being able to control it's better. Okay, sorry.
All right, just say hi to Milton. Milton, bye.
Hi, Milton.
Milton, yeah.
Sorry, Milton. The hammer is killing me.
Yeah.
We're next door to a nail salon, and they decided over the weekend that they were going to come and update their plumbing. So instead of working in the morning like they're supposed to, they got here at about 5 o'clock, and apparently they're going to work all night, even though the nail salon was closed. So now we have to listen to this shit. Awesome. Sorry, go ahead.
Have you worked down by 5 Star? What?
What's the question?
Have you had work done by 5-star?
Have you had work done by 5-star?
Yeah.
I do the work.
No, okay. Scott, I don't understand the question, but... no, I do all my own install. Oh,
okay.
They do.
They're carrying on a conversation.
Okay. Okay.
Very good.
So, Rob said, thank you, Dean.
You're welcome.
And thank you to Fernando. I have to give you some love, too.
Definitely. Awesome. Fernando deserves all the love. You know, that brings up an interesting point. We had that guy remember that comment I showed you? You know, when we do our videos, like when we're up talking to one another, sometimes we cut it up. I mean, I'll pick on him, he'll pick on me, and he picks on me bad. Like, he stresses me the fuck out. I mean, he loves to put bags underneath tires, and as he's backing out, they pop. It scares the shit out of me. I'm high-strung, if you haven't figured it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, he gives just as good as he gets, but for some reason, a lot of people see us in the videos, and they think I'm picking on him. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not picking on him. We're just being us. Yeah. We work together in a small space 6 days a week from 9:30 to 6:30, and then we do these twice a week. We spend a lot of time together, so we have to have something fun with each other. And I know some of you guys out there are like, oh, he's just mean to Fernando. No, we're just having fun. Yeah. You know, and I get the tall guy is a prick, and it's like, yeah, I'm a prick, but not for that reason. Okay? I'm not. We're just making, to us it's hilarious. You know, we laugh our asses off at it, and it's okay, sorry, go ahead.
All right. So, hey guys, I'm watching from Louisiana. Tyrone.
Sweet. Thank you. Got to get there one day.
They installed my system. Okay, when buying a sub, what's the best way to match in with the prefab box?
What's that?
When you buying a sub,
right?
What's the best way to match with the prefab boxes?
I'm a big fan of A-Trend enclosures. A-Trend actually makes boxes for certain subwoofers. Like they make a JL, they make an Alpine, they make a digital design. And most of the woofers, and then they make a generic, of course, but they'll give you the specs. And most woofers, they're not stupid. They know that they want to hit as many people as possible. So, you know, a lot of the times their boxes are right on with what you need for spec, or they're close enough. So I would check out the A-Trend boxes for sure. And just look at the numbers. I mean, if it's close, you're golden.
Yep. All right, that's the best. What's the best shallow mount sub box?
Sub box?
Yes.
A-Trend. It depends. Okay, if you're looking for a truck box, A-Trends are really nice. They spend the time and they do a good job. If you're just looking for a downfiring 110 box, the Q bomb with the Rhino liner on it, which is sitting back here, it's freaking awesome and reasonably priced. So yeah, Q bomb is Q power, but yes, yeah, you know, but yeah, dude, A-Trend makes really nice boxes. That answers that question. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so Clayton, thanks. Other question. I currently have 40 watts, 4 speakers.
Okay.
If I buy the sub, which is 400 watts RMS, will be overkill?
No. You gotta remember, these little speakers here, they move real easy, so they don't need a ton of power to get loud. As you know, you have 40 watts right now, and it's probably pretty loud. A subwoofer has a giant magnet, a big cone. It needs more power. Okay, I'm going to do the bat. It needs more power. I'm not going to do this. It needs more power to move. So that's why you have like 40 watts and 400 watts. Will it be a little off balance? Maybe, but that's why they give you subwoofer volume control. All right, why are you laughing?
I laugh because, okay, wait a minute. Bill say, maybe it's a happy ending going on.
They're the next store down. That's the massage place. You can get your nails done, get your hair cut, and get a massage in our plaza. And go across the street and eat at the original Hooters when you're all done. Yay!
Okay, what subwoofer setup would you recommend for a regular cab Dodge Ram? But that's your preference. With the rear storage tray removed. something with the 300, 800 watts range.
If you're just trying to do, if you're just trying to do one, like Rockford makes their P3 112 wedge box, like we just did in the Tundra the other day, it's really nice. If it's in the budget and you want to go crazy with like 110 or 12, check out the new T1 or the T1 shallows that they make. Those things are freaking sledgehammers, but they're also very expensive. But yeah, look at those. Look at the P3 shallow 12 box. I believe it fits perfect behind the driver's seat. It's really nice. If you want to do two and do a custom box, the Phoenix Gold shallow mounts, I really like those. You can still do the P310s. Those are also really nice too. The P3s are nice shallow mounts. They do handle a little more power than, let's say, the Phoenix Gold does. But those two. Kicker makes them as well. They make that cool truck box with the passive radiator. But these are the things that we do more of the other ones. Okay.
All right. So Martin, Kenwood or JBC when using the iPhone 6 Plus and up to Pandora, when I plug it in and I check the device, it always comes out when I'm using the Bluetooth, the album Edward.
Yes.
But when he using the Bluetooth, it's no.
Correct. iPhone does not. iPhones have a really hard time, and it's built into the iPhone this way, of putting album artwork over Bluetooth. To Apple, it is more important to stream a quality music signal than album artwork. That's just that. They're trying to get you better sound and not worry about pictures. Because after all, it's about sound, it's not about pictures. So that's their answer for that.
Okay.
USB, do whatever you want.
Jose Crespo say, I have a Pioneer 5800 VHS. Can I add a front forward camera?
A 5800? Yeah, 5800 will do a front-facing camera. Use the auxiliary input. We have 2 or 3 videos up talking about that.
All right. Omar say, not mean enough.
Not mean enough?
Not mean enough.
Damn, man. No love for Fernando. Vote for Pedro.
Rough. Laurel and Hernando. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Hey, guys. Can you do a video on the series on how to tune the EQ crossover with the RTA to shot for the
IASCA?
Yeah.
Yes, that's something we're going to work on hopefully this summer. That's going to be one of those things that takes a lot of time, and right now we just don't have it. We've always planned on doing the RTA style tune. It just takes a really specific car that we have in, and we're hoping to fix that once we actually get time to put stereos in our cars. I know, right? We've covered that to the point of no return. But that's really where we're at. So yes, this summer we're planning on doing more of those style videos where we can sit in a car with an RTA and we can have all the fun and show you different style RTAs, from a free RTA like audio controls to buying the $150 mic they make to plug into an iPad, to using the PAA3 personal audio assistant that we have, those little cool handheld ones you guys see in the videos. So yeah, we're planning on it. It's just a matter of time. So we love doing these things. It's just at the end of the day, we want to make sure we do it right, and that's key. So I don't want to rush a video just to get a video out. Like the 5-day-a-week thing, we're trying really hard to keep that pace, and it's getting harder and harder to do right now. So I don't know how much longer we're going to keep that up, but we're trying.
All
right, next question.
So Tyrone, what's the best shallow man subwoofer
There again. Okay, so Rockford P3 shallow mount's really awesome. Handles a decent amount of power. My personal favorite shallow mount woofer is the Phoenix Gold shallow mount woofer. I love the way it sounds. I like the amount of power it handles, which is about 350. So it's adequate for 90% of the systems. The P3 would be if you want to go with more power. But those are the 2 woofers we spend a lot of time with.
What about the Rockford right there?
Well, that's the T1. If you want to, if you're wanting one super duper heavy duty shallow mount woofer, the T1. But we find that most people aren't. Once you see the price, you're like, whoa, I like that P3
I
I like that P3 and that Phoenix Gold looks sexy. So, and there again, I'm not prejudging how much money you're willing to spend. I'm just going by with what we sell a lot of. So, that's it.
Okay.
By all means, hey, I want the T1. I mean, if I'm going deep.
So
I'm
Michael say, what's the typical turnaround time for the custom subwoofer box?
I mean, most of the time when we have to have a custom subwoofer box build, we use a company called Brightstar, which also sells online. They're local here, and Big Red can usually turn one of those things out in a day or two.
Yeah.
You know, so he's really good. If you guys are in another state and you want a custom box built, you can contact Brightstar, and they'll build you a box and mail it to you. So,
yeah. And say, we send it.
Yeah, they'll send it right to you. You tell them what you want, they'll talk to you, they'll figure it out. And, yeah, you're good to go. So.
Yeah, Martin Gomez, thanks, guys. I'm much rather to quality, just making sure. So, thank you.
What was that?
Martin said thank
quiet.
You. Martin said thank you.
Martin?
Yeah.
Martin, thanks, Martin.
Alright, so if your experience with subwoofers sound better, which very suspension high?
What?
Suspension and high power are low suspension of the power of the subwoofer.
Say what? You lost me.
If your experience, which subwoofers sound better?
Yes.
Which with
subwoofer?
a very suspension and high power or low suspension.
So high suspension, low power, low suspension, high power?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Whew. Well, that's a tough one. Thanks, Michael. We'll see you next Monday, too. I mean, when it comes to woofers, okay, so, all right, case in point. Two real popular woofers that we carry are the Comp Rs and the Rockford P2s. They are both checking in from Regency Oaks. That's funny. So they're very evenly priced.
Stiff suspension.
And they one is like the P2 has a very loose suspension, and the Comp R has a much stiffer suspension, smaller surround. Two totally different sounds. Like a guy comes in and he likes boomy bass, I'm selling them the P3 because it's got a fat surround, it's got a real flexible suspension. If a guy's looking for more of a do-do-do, or a tighter drum sound, I'm selling him the Comp R because it's got a thinner surround and a tighter suspension that works totally different. So it's just two totally... Haley's just exploding on the TV. Thanks, Haley. It's two totally different sounds. So yeah, I mean, boomy bass, fat surround, lots of power, or a weak suspension, one or the other. Like if you look at a giant Scar VVX, that'll have a ton of boomy bass, but it's going to take a month to break in. I don't know, maybe that helps. I'm kind of, yeah. What do you got?
Okay, so Alexander say hello.
Hi.
I have a question. I have a VW Polo.
Okay, so
2000.
He's okay.
And I'm getting the semi-good car sound.
Thanks, Clarissa.
System.
Okay.
Example, 112 subwoofer.
Okay.
From pair speakers with the tweeters and coaxials in the back.
Okay.
Should I run new speaker cables or can I use the OEM?
If you're doing a Volkswagen, you should be able to use the OEM. Volkswagen typically runs decent size wire in their car. So I wouldn't stress out about a Volkswagen. No, I wouldn't lose any sleep about using any factory Volkswagen wiring. The only problem that you ever run into in a Volkswagen is that stupid power distribution block on top of the battery going bad. Other than that, wiring's... a lot of the times, hell, some of the Volkswagens, they actually run 12 gauge into the door for their stereos. So German cars typically are awesome when it comes to factory wiring. As far as the sizes they use, big fans. Okay, is that it? What do we got?
That's it.
Is that wrapping it up?
That's it.
That's it? That's everyone? Gilberto
say thank you.
says thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so last time, real quick, you guys are weaning off, so that means we're done. We're going to get the hell out of here. www.teespring.com, 5-star T, /5-star T, or just search 5-star car stereo. You can pick up one of these t-shirts, support the cause. Thank you very much, as usual, for watching. What does it say? I have 4 40-watt speakers in my car, and I have a power them. I'm planning to add a Class D amplifier to power 400-watt subs. The Pioneer. Yes, it's a good amp. My only concern is will my what was that? It rolled up.
Let's see.
Will my let's answer that real quick. Then we're gonna get out of here.
When you get into the what?
Will
my 8-gauge power cable from
no,
the battery.
You're going to need to run a new 4-gauge power wire to the 8601. Definitely going to have to run a 4-gauge to that amplifier. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. Thank you, as usual.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Enjoy the shows this week. Keep the questions coming, as always, and peace out. Love, harmony, I don't know, whatever. See you later next time. Bye.